on, everybody? This is Jared with Vera here downtown Atlanta, and today we're going to be talking about demons and the nature of demonic or possessive demons. It's a little bit loud down here. We got a lot of traffic and construction going on, so I hope that you can hear me well. So demonic possession. Around the world, and in different ideologies and religions and whatever, there are just very many different understandings of, demons, what demons are, and what they do, what they're capable of. Well, some of the understandings are more accurate than others. Some have accuracy and maybe are missing a little bit, that these other understandings might have. There are always, especially in this day and age, going to be misconceptions, to some extent, about the things that go on beyond, our sensory perspective. So, I'm going to try to touch on as many things as I can and clarify as many kind of misconceptions as possible. So, let's see. Well, I want to say this before I start. I guess I'll say, or I'll start like this. The Japanese and then maybe some other Eastern cultures have different ideas of demons. They might have possessive demons as well, or understanding of possessive demons, but I don't know about their understanding of that. But based on what I've seen, and really just mostly in watching anime cartoons, Japanese cartoons, is that their understanding of demons is different, to where they're not just possessive beings, but actually, I guess, kind of, I don't know, just creatures, I guess, like animals, or they're their own people. There's just all these different sorts of forms and behaviors and mindsets of demons that are they're really just kind of like these kind of unique kind of individuals that are intelligent. They have varying levels of intelligence and various abilities and whatever else. You can have a very kind of mundane, normal demon that's just kind of like a human, basically. He might just look a little different. Or you might have one that can fly, or one that can read minds, or whatever else. And so, that's just a different understanding of what a demon is. And the thing about that, where they're getting this understanding from is the astral realm and the beings that exist in the astral realm. And the astral realm basically is the fourth dimension. It's also called the fourth dimension, and it is a higher realm than the third dimensional realm. It is the closest vibrational realm as far as frequency goes to this reality that we see. And so there in that realm, there are all sorts of just different types of beings, just like you see in the Japanese cartoons and things. Only in the cartoons they'll have them just kind of living on the earth where we are, they're very visible. And so it's kind of, there's that. But and like I said, in the astral realm, there's just basically innumerable different types of beings that are completely different than anything you would find here. And so there's that side of demons, but we're going to focus on possessive demons that are going to attach themselves to you for whatever reason and take over your mind to some extent, or perform something, some sort of influence, some sort of negative influence on you. So let me see. So again, I want to clarify this too, that when I say demons, I'm not just talking about being sad or being depressed or having some sort of addiction or whatever, because even though certain entities can attach themselves to you because of these things. So I'm not just talking about emotional turmoil or anything like that. So let me see. For the past, well, I'd say year and a half. There's a little more to the story, but the past year and a half, I've been in what I call the diasporic period, and I have a video that talks about that in more detail. And basically, I'll give you the story, is where Source, God, Source Creator God came over me and to me, in a sense, without me really actually knowing it, and has been guiding me really for the past 3 years and helping me learn and teaching me and whatever else, along with other beings in the higher realms. But God itself, the Source itself, was actually doing things around me and with me that I had no idea were happening, and kind of gradually built this influence over my body in just a very perfect and intelligent way. It's actually amazing to think about in hindsight. But it's to where it kind of just took hold over my mind and took being to influence the way I perceive reality, and feel about reality and everything, without me even really knowing it. It's kind of awesome in a way. But so I ended up about a year ago just kind of coming to this very, very challenging schooling period that I've been in for a while, and it happened so gradually that I just didn't even notice it, because as I was growing in the school, it had been going on for multiple years, and I was getting stronger so gradually that I didn't notice that I was struggling. I didn't notice that I was kind of having to try a little harder to just live and do things. And but at a certain point, it kind of went over this it got this culmination where it just started getting really insane, and I started thinking, something's going on, and started asking questions and whatever else. And so, there's so much happened, but what it comes down to is eventually I come to the understanding that that what they call schizophrenia, has been being called schizophrenia for the longest time, is much more than a mental disorder, and really it's not actually schizophrenia, because schizophrenia is just saying that you have some sort of mental disorder, and that's not what it is. It's actually, well, in reality, what it is it's Source, and every single person that has schizophrenia is going through the exact same thing that I'm going through, where Source has come over them with an intelligent and reasonable and real purpose. It has been putting these people through trial in order to strengthen them for a particular reason that's going to be apparent in the future, in the near future. And what it's doing is that it's creating an influence of a type of demonic possession, or rather, it's creating an influence portraying itself or this influence as a type of demonic possession. So it's kind of like it's just a projection or a false kind of demon that's not actually really a demon. If it were a demon, we'd be more screwed than we are now in this school, where it's kind of harsh, but at the same time we're still being loved and cared for. And and there's other things about demons too, where it's just like, demons don't just jump on people. They don't just come out of nowhere. There's reasons why they would be there. And someone like myself, and the people who know me who know this, that there's nothing that I would have been doing in my life to attract a demon in the first place, especially not like this, like the nature of this one. And so, speaking on nature, there, at least as far as I know, there are just very many types of demonic possession. It basically coincides with whatever is causing the demon, whatever kind of thoughts you're having. There's usually going to have to be, I guess there would really have to be some sort of extreme negativity that's occurring, that unless it's what I'm experiencing now, where it's kind of like, whatever God's doing for the purpose is doing it. There's gonna have to be some sort of extreme negative thoughts and emotions, intent that's going on, that's gonna cause a demon to attach itself to you and begin to influence your emotions, influence your mind, say certain things, or completely take your body over, which is that whole kind of thing that we see on movies and The Exorcist and stuff like that. I got to learn more about that because I have really no idea really what that is. That's a pretty just incredible thing that's occurring, where someone's body and mind and everything's completely taken over, and they just become basically a monster. And so I want to know really what that is and what's going on there. What the purpose of that is in the whole, from the whole perspective. So, anyways, so there are just all sorts of different types of demons, and from being on the inside and going through these different phases of learning what is happening with me, it actually wasn't until very recently that I learned that it was source, and that all the people with schizophrenia, so-called schizophrenia, around the world are dealing with this kind of divine school. Having been here and learning from the inside, one of the things that I've noticed is that there's an attachment at the spine, based at the spine, and in the brain, is attached to your brain, where this possession occurs. And so that's where demons kind of come in at. They hijack your nervous system, and then they begin their influences from there. And so that makes perfect sense, because one of the things that I'm very clearly experiencing are manipulations of thought, thoughts that are not my own being input into in the middle of my sentences and whatever else, manipulation of my words as I speak, having just uncertainty in my wording, stuttering and saying and like that over and over again, things like that, feelings of uncertainty and nervousness when there shouldn't be, involuntary movement of body parts that are kind of intelligent in nature, not really random, like my arm's not just jerking, or I'm not doing twitching or anything like that. It's more kind of intelligent and coinciding with thoughts and emotions and intent as I go about. So it's kind of like a demonic kind of thing mixed with kind of direct interaction with God and whatever its purpose is for the school, or rather its kind of rules for this time period, as far as this time period goes. Because it's not really we're doing this kind of outside of the norm, very much so actually. This really kind of in a way shouldn't be happening, in a sense, but it's just that different from how Source would usually, or any higher being would usually deal with human beings. So it does things according to the kind of rules that are set for this period that I'm in, or that we're in. And so anyways, I'm kind of going off track. Let's stay on demons. So again, what a demon's gonna do is it's gonna come for a negative reason. All demons are negative. There's no good demon. There's no good that's gonna come from demons at all. All they're gonna try to do is basically destroy you in the end. They are gonna make you feel tired. They're gonna make you feel less like yourself. They're going to discourage you, amplify any negativity that you might be putting out. They're gonna say different negative things. I guess it depends on which demon it is, because some demons might not even interact with you at all, or they'll try to avoid your you knowing that they're there at all. Let's see. They're going to I had to stop the video. There was some complication shit. Okay, so what? One of the other thing that you might find with demons is that, you know, they can project their voices through other sounds. Like, for example, this, I don't know if you can hear that truck in the background. The engine, the sound of the engine can be made to sound like growling, or, you know, like it's saying something, or whatever else. And it really is not really a projection so much as it is the manipulation of the interpretation of the sound. And so, let me see. Let me sit down really fast. So, you know, that's just another thing, and hey, how's it going? One of the things that you can get with demons is, you know, like basically the same thing. Basically, manipulation and shifting in the interpretation of any of your sensory of your senses. And so, let me see. Think really fast. I'm gonna go ahead and go to this. Well, I'll say this first. I forgot to say this before, that there are no actual demons that exist on the earth plane. If you're dealing with a demon, then you're dealing with something that higher light beings are creating and projecting into your reality and maintaining in your reality for particular reasons, for particular purposes. The whole earth and period is a learning experience for all of us. And so what it's going to be is that you're choosing certain things, thinking certain things, feeling a certain way, that is creating this demon. So in that sense, it's actually real, but it will only go, well, I'll just say this, in that sense it's actually real, but overall it's really, the higher beings that are doing this, unless you're talking about us, people like myself and the other schizophrenic people, or so-called schizophrenic people. They aren't. It's a different level. That's a whole different level. We are dealing with source, and we're not doing anything to create it. It's just source is kind of, in a way, kind of pushing it on us in a sense, for a very relevant reason. So like I said, we're not at the point in our evolution as human beings where we would be dealing with a world where demons are just existing on their own. Those are other realms and other planets that would have those, that would be that way. As far as the astral realm aspect of other planets, our astral realm doesn't hold demons, at least not on their own. So let me see. I wanted to say this too, that there are other beings that I guess they can be termed spirits, which is kind of a misleading, or there's kind of a confusion with the difference between astral spirits and the spiritual beings that are light beings that exist in the higher light realms. When I'm saying spirits here, I'm talking about, fourth dimensional beings. There are these other types of beings that I guess they can be termed demons, but they really kind of don't fit in the category of a possessive demon, because they're not going to attach themselves to your etheric body and or anything like that and start to manipulate you from the inside or start to manipulate your thinking and whatever else, they're going to be, they might be able to telepathically communicate with you and interfere with your thoughts, and say things to you through your thoughts, or through your clairaudience. But again, these are contracted beings, contracted beings that your higher guides around you are allowing to enter your world. So let me see. So one of the things that the reasons why we are here, why myself and other people around the world are going through this kind of school or class with God, is so that we're learning from the inside and what it's like to have a possessive demon, at least to some extent, and then we will go out eventually in the world after certain events occur and teach and train everybody for the upcoming ascension of the planet, or at least I guess one aspect of it, where the Earth will rise into the fourth dimensional realm. It will rise in vibrations to the fourth dimensional frequencies. So let me see. So I'll say this. With demons, there is a shift in gravity around the area of your body. There's a change, and really it's like that with light beings too, and really it's like that with yourself, just as being yourself, and with every thought and movement and emotion and whatever you feel and do. The conventional understanding of gravity that we've had for a very long time is really not accurate, or rather it only holds partial truth. There is way more, or I guess rather than saying way more, there are just far more. There are other things that are very important that are not included in the conventional understanding. That basically gravity is just this force that just holds things on the ground, keeps things grounded. It's only a part of what it does, and in reality, gravity is actually a living thing, and it's very intelligent, and it is what propagates universal evolution. A metaphor that I give it is that it is the hand of God, because literally it is propagating evolution. It is, propagating the cellular process of mitosis and meiosis in your body, and either optimizing that process or slowing it down depending on the thoughts and emotions that you're having, depending on the frequencies, the energetic frequencies, or vortexes of energy that are within the gravity in your field, or any particular field, wherever it may be. There are other I guess, gravity overall is a positive thing, but there are ways to use it as a negative thing, or for it to have a negative effect. I wish I was still downtown, because if you saw it at the beginning of the video, I had the camera at the sun, and then I went over to the spire. There's a spire in the middle of the little plaza that I was in, and the spire or the pyramid, whichever one, they're both kind of the same, but they do different things. At the point of the spire, and this is the point of spires and pyramids, at least when they were originally building them, the gravity comes down into the tip, and it's condensed, and there's a vortex that is created in the middle of the spire, and it's a very powerful energy, a very powerful vortex. And so there's all this positive love energy in the middle of a vortex. In the middle of a pyramid or a spire, and I think there's something that goes with the earth too, the energy coming from the earth and going up too, but I'm not sure about those details. But in the center of the spire or the pyramid, there is just this positive love energy, and there's all sorts of things that you can do with that. You can even walk into it and heal yourself, or put water in there and drink the water and heal any illness. There's so many things you can do with it, and so that's just one of the things about gravity. And so what I'm getting at is that when a demon comes over you, there's a shift in gravity, and I noticed this when I intended that gravity around my body be heavier, and then all of a sudden this AOP, or what I call the AOP, or the ADAOP, the artificial overlay projection, or the anatomical demonic artificial overlay projection, whichever one is really the only name I have for it right now. It's basically just a projected demonic presence, or kind of, it's like a body, it's like a thing, it's kind of projected being that exists, anatomically, I guess alongside my actual body, and it's kind of overlaid in and throughout my physical vessel, and then it's just like this weird feeling, strange kind of uncomfortable thing that's going on, and it has all these different extensions and different parts, besides the actual kind of anatomically correct part, at least as far as the human body goes, and it's kind of like, in a way, like a collective of beings that equal into one being, and it's really weird. But there's other things I can say about it too, because at the same time, it really doesn't even exist. It's not there, and it changes, and all kind of other stuff. So, but it started to tear off me. It started to like fall apart and just rise, go away when I did that. And so that's how I noticed there was a correlation between the gravity and around me and the demon, the presence of the demon. And so, and if you go into your chakras, if you know anything about chakras, your chakras are spinning vortexes, and in the center of your chakras is a void, what do you call it? Not a black hole, a vacuum. And so there's a vacuum in the center, and there's a pull of gravity into your chakras, into your chakra system. And so that's what they're doing. It's changing the flow of gravity, and your chakra system is basically just a larger your etheric and chakra network is just a representation of your physical system, physical network, your physical body, and it has everything to do with the reality that you experience. And so basically, it is influencing that flow, that vortex. And let's see. So that's one thing that's happening. So the next thing I kind of wanted to say, that's just kind of interesting, that it's similar to what I was just saying, but it's not really, it's kind of off subject, but it's kind of on subject at the same time, is that, I'll say this before I go there. What a demon does is that it pushes you out of your body. It like I said, it's based at the spine, and pushes your etheric body out of your physical body, and so it blocks the more subtle layer of you that comes first, that where your intent comes from, where your intent manifests as a physical thing. And there's so much I can say about that, but basically, whenever you intend, before it becomes physical, it goes through all these different levels of existence, of yourself, your higher self, as yourself as higher levels of being, and eventually reaches the fourth dimensional self, or the astral self, or the etheric self, and the demon cuts off that connection between the etheric and the physical, and so in the more extreme cases, the demon will literally push you all the way out of your body, or at least most of the way, and then it would have pretty much complete control. And that's those really kind of scary events that go on with total possession, and then if it kills you, which would happen, it would push you completely out of your body, and you die, and then the demon would go away. So then here's the other thing I was going to say is about the rulers of the world, or the ex-rulers of the world now, but they these very kind of negative, very dark people that are called the Illuminati for the most part, or they're also called the Dark Cabal, or the Dark Ones. These people, and most people really don't kind of even know about. They're very behind the scenes negative people that are basically they're the ones that are propagating all of this system of the world, or most of it at least, especially the very modern places. They've had control over the world for a very long time, and are just kind of behind the scenes. This is way beyond the president and anything that we see on TV or whatever. They are, their nature, the type of beings that they are, the type of man that they are, or humans that they are, they don't have any spirit. They have no greater soul, in a sense. They don't have, every being is one with source, and no one is really separate from it in truth, but every other person has very many layers of themselves. We go from the physical to the etheric to the astral to the the fifth dimensional self, 6, 7, and on up back to source. We're all completely connected, but these people have only their physical and etheric selves, and they don't have anything other than that. They might have a fourth dimensional, a higher fourth dimensional layer or self that might be somewhere in the fourth dimensional realm, but it doesn't go it doesn't go very far beyond that. And so they have no ability to create, no ability to ask and receive. They don't have the ability to put out an intention and have the world align itself to their thoughts and emotions. And that's actually something that most people really don't know about. It's not really talked about that much. But different people, it goes down to the different races on the earth, and then even down to each individual having more or less ability to create their own reality. But these people have none, unless they call demons and spirits, fourth dimensional astral spirits, to help them. And so what they do is they call these beings down. Let's say they call a possessive demon, and then the demon will change their chakra flow, this vortex in their center, and create a reality for them and help them to create a reality. And so that's a part of how they keep control. So that's just an interesting thing. And what else did I want to say? I just want to wrap it up. Basically, there are, demons are never, no matter what demon you have, if it's a possessive demon, then it's not a good demon. It's going to try to deceive you. It's going to try to, basically just steer you away from the truth. They're easy to deal with if you just become aware of them, and not be afraid, because what they're going to try to do, I think I said this earlier, is that they're going to try to, in kind of a clever and tricky way, they're going to try to make you feel like you should be afraid, like they have some sort of power, and they actually don't. Demons are just viruses. They're astral viruses. People don't really know that you're creating your own viruses. You're creating your own illnesses by your thoughts and emotions. The things that I mean, it's not just because viruses are just laying around and you're just running into them. Even if a virus did get into your system, if you're healthy in thought and emotion, then you literally will not. The virus can't do anything to you. Your immune system will just block it out. This is just on a higher level. Demons can't even come near you. They can't touch you. Can't do anything unless you attract them into your reality, and then maintain in that frequency. So if you're someone who's dealing with the higher realms and channeling and especially some of these people who have DNA from like Indian tribes and just other people from the past who were kind of in tune with the astral realm, who hear ghosts and see spirits and whatever else, if it's a negative thing, then it's a demon, or it's a negative astral spirit. That's kind of near the, nearly a demon, or I guess it kind of is just, I don't know, close to that, but not quite. And that's just how you tell it. It has a negative fruit, ultimately, and it's bothering you, and it's annoying, and whatever else. So if you come to it with love and joy and appreciate, or love and joy and in truth and positively and no fear, and it doesn't go away, then it has to be a contracted demon. Another thing that you can do is connect by intending and assuring and knowing that you're connecting with higher light beings that are only of the most high and most good, and that's the intention that you put out. They must be of the light. They must be of the most high, of the most unconditional truth and love. If you say that and you ask for that, then they are there. They are listening. They are there, and they can help you through it. They can help you, protect you. So it's like a combination of calling on these higher beings to help, getting in a center where you're not afraid, and then working through it from there, and then clearing out whatever energies you had that are keeping them, that brought it there in the first place. And that's about it. I mean, there are certain things that you can do, like you can call on Archangel Michael, and Archangel Michael will just swipe it away, and it won't even be anything, but again, you still have to work on whatever created it. So that's it. Demons, they don't really exist here yet on the earth. There's a Bible verse in the Bible that actually talks about that demons weren't actually always on the earth. There was a time when there were no negative spirits, or really any spirits or astral beings at all on the earth. But that goes. That's for another video. But yeah, that's it. So I appreciate you guys. I love you. Thanks a whole lot.